China currently has one of the most expansive and impressive high-speed rail networks on Earth, and they aren't showing signs of slowing. As their network reaches the far corners of their nation, Beijing could be setting its eyes on what lies beyond, far, far beyond. China wants to build a high-speed 13,000-kilometer, 8,078-mile train from mainland China via Alaska via Bering Strait under the sea to eastern Russia, crossing its rocky peaks to build Canada's Yukon and British Columbia and the United Kingdom. Want to know about it? Well, stay tuned to the video and watch the video till the end. Hello guys, welcome to Futureality. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to get new updates about technology and development. Hit the like button to show your support, and in today's video, we're going to discuss China's $200 billion underwater train to the US. So without any further ado, let's begin. Forget about flying from Los Angeles to Shanghai, China. Your next trip across the Pacific might just be underwater. Imagine a high-speed train that travels from mainland China through Siberia and eastern Russia, under the sea, through the Bering Strait into Alaska, across the rocky peaks of Canada's Yukon and British Columbia, to finally arrive in the USA. Well, that idea is one that China is considering seriously. Very seriously, as you know, China has the most developed and fastest trains in the world. The country, which is highly developed in terms of technology, wants to move its railway networks much further for both trade and tourism. China has expressed a desire to build a high-speed 13,000 kilometers international bullet train. It will begin in mainland China, then travel up through Siberia and eastern Russia, go under the sea through the Bering Strait into Alaska, traverse the rocky peaks of Canada's Yukon and British Columbia, and commence making its way across the USA. The project, called the China-Russia-Canada-America Line, first proposed in 2014, would cost $200 billion. It would connect four nations, potentially delivering a trade, economic, and tourism boom for all. If everything goes as planned, you might be able to travel from China to America in 2 days without setting foot in a single airport. That's pretty impressive considering that a flight from Beijing to US takes about 14 hours. The underwater railway network will connect mainland China from Beijing to San Francisco. As the train crossed the Bering Strait, a narrow passage of water connecting the Pacific and Arctic Oceans, this 125-mile-long stretch would mean the tunnel was underwater. Chinese officials were considering the route the train would take, but insisted that it was feasible. Although this might sound far-fetched, underwater railway lines are more reality than science fiction. With Japan having its own underway railway line currently running today, the Seacan Railway, Japan's 53.85-kilometer railway tunnel connects Honshu Island and Hokkaido Island via a track located 140 meters below the seabed. At present, the Seacan Tunnel is the world's deepest and longest railway tunnel, with approximately 23.3 kilometers of the tunnel being located under the seabed, making it the world's longest undersea tunnel. If Japan can achieve this impressive underwater train experience, what's standing in the way for China to achieve similarly? With flight times from Russia to the US lasting over 10 hours on average, the introduction of an underwater bullet train connecting both countries could enable travel between the two in as little as 20 minutes. Recent reports might provide an indication as to why the project seems to be on hold. According to the South China Morning Post, the plans were heavily criticized due to their initial proposed budget of $200 billion. Detractors have pointed out that flights and cargo ships are a cheaper option for trade and their infrastructures are already in place. Then there's the engineering and logistics side of the problem. The tunnel would be an unprecedented venture, approximately 4 times larger than the longest undersea tunnels today, the Channel Tunnel connecting the UK and France, and the Seacan Tunnel connecting Hokkaido and Honshu in Japan, both of which are approximately 30 miles long. In 2018, China approved the world's first underwater bullet train, which would extend nationally from Ningbo, a port city near Shanghai, to Zhoushan, an archipelago of islands off the east coast. Covering a 77 kilometers, 47.8-mile stretch of almost entirely new-built railway, the new route will include a 16.2-kilometer underwater section. It will be a maglev train, levitating above a magnetic track as it's propelled along at high speeds, and construction is well underway for the ambitious project. Although this tunnel is significantly smaller than the Channel Tunnel, the addition of a bullet train passing through brings new challenges to the construction. While little is known about progress on the China-Russia-Canada-American line, some have postulated that Ningbo-Zhoushan line could be a test run of sorts for a far large project. As for the US, they might be a little farther behind. In 2020, the US government approved a huge 2,570-kilometer, 1,597-mile railway line that connects the US and Canada from Alaska to Alberta, costing $22 billion. The line was a large leap for the US railway network, which has been lagging behind other nations until now. With China's rapidly expanding bullet train network, the famous Japanese network, the other nations surging forward with their attempts, the US is now on the back foot when it comes to railway innovation. Expanding across the Bering Strait, a $200 billion project will require a submerged water tunnel 4 times larger than the Channel Tunnel and more advanced technology for booting. It will be a maglev train driven at high speed over a magnetic track, so it will run at high speeds, and work is underway for the ambitious project. Although this tunnel is significantly smaller than the Channel Tunnel, the bullet train brings new challenges to the construction of the connection. According to China's state-run newspaper, the Beijing Times, the China-Russia-Canada-America railway line would be the most expensive mega project in history and take years to complete. The biggest engineering challenge would be building an underwater tunnel through the Bering Strait. The Bering Strait would be the longest underwater tunnel in the world and cost about $52 billion to build. Beijing Times also reported that Russia is already on board. But considering that China's current relationship with the United States is the worst it has ever been, China may face significant hurdles in constructing the US portion of the underwater train network. There are other significant hurdles that China must overcome if it hopes to build a high-speed rail line to the United States. The South China Morning Post was critical of the initial proposed costs of $200 billion, 170 billion euros. So according to recent reports, the project may be on hold. However, interestingly, plans for the Channel Tunnel were delayed for 180 years before the UK-France Tunnel first opened in 1994. French engineer Albert Mathieu Flavier first proposed a subterranean link between Britain and France in 1802, but it wasn't until 1987 that the British and French parliaments agreed to the project. So maybe there's still hope? Right now, we're already in discussions. Russia has already been thinking about this for many years, said Wang Mengshu, a railway expert at the Chinese Academy of Engineering, in an interview with The Guardian. If it was to proceed, though, I believe that would be incredibly unlikely. Project costs would be a significant hindrance to its feasibility, particularly given the growing public debt levels at Chinese state-owned enterprises, which are likely to discourage investment in more fanciful projects such as this. Geopolitical tensions are another likely stumbling block. These ambitious multinational projects tend to struggle to get off the ground, and differing national priorities and demands hampering the progress of development. Plans for greener infrastructure might provide the China-Russia-Canada-America line project just the boost it needs, as governments, including those of China and the US, are likely to continue to invest heavily in rail over the coming years, partly due to its green credentials. In the US, for example, rail is responsible for only 2% of the transport sector's emissions, despite accounting for approximately 40% of the country's long-distance freight volume. Numerous rail innovations, including highly efficient automated rail inspection, also mean that such a project is likely feasible from a technological standpoint. There has been no official communication on the project in recent years, meaning it may well still be in the works. However, as technology advances and infrastructure develops, the China-Russia-Canada-US line may just one day be more than a pipe dream. Will the most expensive mega project in world history materialize soon? Well, the project appears to have been put on hold for now, as presently flight and cargo ships are a cheaper option for trade. But since technology is developing at an unprecedented pace, who knows what the future will bring? Now that we've come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for sticking with me, and I'd love to know what you think of it. Just comment down below. Also, if you like this video, make sure you like it and stay safe. Today's video is over, but if you want to see more, there's one on your screen right now. And there are a few more fun videos coming soon. I'll see you in the next video.